Hello my dears and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pamela and I usually put out beauty related videos on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Sorry I didn't have a video for you guys yesterday. I was just so tired and I spent a majority of the day sort of like relaxing and sitting on the couch and doing absolutely nothing. I went to sleep at like 10:30 or 11 or whatever because I was just so tired. Today's video is sort of my review or opinion on the ABH Soft Glam palette. This was one of those things, I'm not gonna lie, that when I saw it, I was like, love at first sight. I knew I loved you before I met you. I saw the color palette on Instagram and I immediately fell in love, and like I just knew that I would love this palette. I think that this palette is amazing, and if you don't have the Modern Renaissance palette, like this to me is just like perfection. I never gravitated towards the Modern Renaissance. I do have a dupe for it. I still don't pick it up as often as other people do because I know a lot of people love that palette, but for me, this was just more up my alley or whatever. It included a matte black and I thought, oh, so great. I love when palettes include matte blacks. Even if I have a million matte blacks in other palettes, like I'm the kind of person that only likes to stick to one palette. So having my matte black in this palette is perfection. Plus, that's like the nicest matte black I've ever used in my entire life. And I've got the Jaclyn Hill palette, the e.l.f. Matte for Matte 2, and like a Coastal Scent single that is a matte black, but nothing compares to this matte black. Also really like that they included this shade here called Tempera. I've never used the Modern Renaissance palette, so I did not know that that wasn't a complete matte shade. It does have a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not crazy. So you could use it to set your eyeshadow primer. It'll look, you know, pretty matte in my opinion. You could also use it to highlight your brow bone, highlight the inner corners, so it's like one of those multi-purpose shades in my opinion, and I really like that. Everything else in between is fantastic. The transition shades are wonderful. I love the different like variations of transitions you've got here. Mulberry shade is amazing. That's like my favorite color in the palette. You could use that to, you know, deepen the outer corner or the crease or whatever. This Dusty Rose color is also super unique. I don't have anything like this. The shimmering shades are fantastic, but they only work really well if you wet your brush. Like, let's be honest, about 80% of us are going to wet the brush and then apply those colors, because if you don't, it's gonna crumble, it's gonna get all over your face, it's not gonna look as vibrant or as foiled. So just saying, those shades always just work so much better when they're wet. These two lighter satin shades are really nice. They also look beautiful when wet. I am wearing one of those all over the lid today, and as you could see, it just looks magical. It is the shade of Fairy, so you know, magical. I do have two small complaints about it. One being the outer packaging. You know, that velvet stuff, like, I wonder why they haven't heard us out on this velvet like packaging, because I know a lot of us complain about the velvet packaging. It gets dirty fast, and I'm kind of like weird about that. Like, I like to make sure that all of my palettes look clean. I'm gonna try my hardest to keep it as clean as possible, but let's face it, a lot of us are just going to destroy this. And not only did they do this velvet thing, but they also picked like a yellowish color, so this is gonna look dirty super duper fast. So that's one thing I have to complain about. The second thing that I'm like, I wish they would have done things a little bit different is these two shades here. You know, they're both very different. You know, they look different. You know, even when you like swatch them, they look different. I'll show you guys. Like, definitely looks a little bit more pink gold. The other one is a lot more just straight gold or whatever. Like I said, they could have gone with one or the other. They didn't really need to include both. I would have rather liked something a little bit brighter to really pack into that inner corner or to highlight the brow bone with, because technically the only thing that you've got is Tempera, and that's, like I said, not that like shimmery, but it's also not that matte. So that's the only thing I would say that I wish was just a little bit different. But other than that, I love this palette. I feel like it's definitely going to be my everyday go-to for some time. I do have a tutorial on this eye look, and I'm not gonna do any more babbling, so let's just get right into it. Yes.
She walks in fury into the night. Her blameless fires burn the sky, and all that's best of her, and all that's bright, fade from her aspect and her eyes. gaze upon, 'cause no one sees what you do.
For you guys today, so hopefully you enjoyed my sort of little thoughts and opinions and my little tutorial using the Soft Glam palette. Again, love this palette. This is definitely one of those things that I knew that I wanted, and I knew that I was going to love it at the same time. If you're curious, on my lips I'm wearing the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Hudson. Such a gorgeous shade. It's quickly become my favorite, you guys. But yeah. If you liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and spread my love for makeup, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye!